Inner Peace Better Health. I am your host, Shreya. Today's episode flows with the divine frequencies of stillness and surrender, guided by Sarah Asha Rose, licensed therapist, guide, and multidimensional channel. Her work bridges the sacred and the human, inviting sensitive souls and star seeds into remembrance, emotional alchemy, and soul purpose. If you have ever felt like there is something deeper calling you, this episode is the portal. Welcome, Sarah. I'm honored to have you on my show.
Thank you, Shreya. It's nice to be here.
So, Sarah, you say stillness is the gateway to soul alignment. So, how did your own stillness journey begin and how did it reshape your purpose?
Sure. I think through meditation, you know, um, meditation is how I evolved into finding my inner voice. So in the beginning, not sure how to meditate, using guided meditation, and then finding out that there was a whole nother world
Mm,
beyond the seen realms that I could connect to and access. And it was inside of me just waiting to be connected to. But really, learning how to meditate and train my busy mind to get to that place of connecting to that part of me and training myself, learning how to do that. And I guess helping other people understand too that your mind is going to be busy and that's okay.
yeah.
You don't have to totally get rid of all of the thoughts,
Mm,
but eventually having some sort of practice or discipline where you prioritize stillness to eventually get to that place where you can just hear your own inner voice and quiet out the noise. If that makes sense.
yeah, yes. And I think that it's a very brave act to meet ourselves fully. And also, how can someone differentiate between the spiritual stillness and simply numbing out or avoiding?
That's a great question. Wow. Well, I think when you numb, right, when you avoid, that's a coping, right? You're doing that for a reason,
Yeah.
right? You're numbing, you're avoiding for a
Mm,
reason, and you're seeking that out,
mm,
right? To escape something. Stillness is not a form of escapism, right?
yeah.
Stillness is the opposite. Stillness is creating the space to get in touch with why you're escaping in the first place, right? So, stillness is the space where you go to meet your authentic self. Numbing, avoidance, that's not stillness. That's avoiding
Mm,
getting in touch with the self. That you're doing that for a reason. You're coping to get away from something. Stillness is not getting away, it's actually getting in touch.
yeah.
Does that make sense? The difference between the two?
Yes, yes, absolutely. And this is wonderful. And the way we explained it's really wonderful. And
Thank
also,
you.
yes, and you work with star seeds and light workers.
Yeah.
So, what does it mean to remember who we are, especially in a world that constantly distracts us from it?
Yeah, that's a great question. Um, wow. So, starseed light worker is anybody who feels that they are they are here for a reason. They're here to anchor the light of the planet. To remember who you are is to know that you're more than just human, that you are multidimensional, that being human is part of your experience, that you chose to be here to separate from the all, right, from source. So you could remember yourself as the all in physical form, that this is just a human experience, that you've had lifetimes in other dimensions and other planets, that you have a purpose to help the planet evolve. And really, to remember who you are is to know that you're more than just the physical and that we really can be anything, do anything, have anything. And all of the other stuff is an illusion. It's not real. We create it all. We create it all. Yeah.
Yes, yes, that's so beautiful. And what are some signs that someone is beginning to awaken to their deeper essence?
Yeah, that's a great question. I think you start to question things. You start to question, is this really who I am? Is this really what I want? I want more than this. This is I I I'm seeking out. I'm seeking out answers. I want more. I'm not accepting things anymore. I'm starting to be aware that I have some programming or some stories that aren't my own. I'm starting to be aware that maybe things that used to work in my life aren't working. Maybe I lost my job. Maybe I'm not making any money. Maybe I'm stuck and I'm unhappy. And I want something better for myself. And things have stopped working. I can't do things the way I used to.
Huh.
I'm changing. I'm different. I'm losing people in my life. I'm getting, my old self is dying.
Mm,
Who am I? It's sort of like that crisis of like, who am I becoming? These are all signs that you're going through an awakening, that there's more to you, right? There's another part
yeah.
of you. And I think overall, when things start breaking down,
Mm,
that's when
yeah.
you know that there's an awakening happening.
Yes, yes. And remembering who we are isn't about becoming something new. It's about returning to home. That's so wonderful. And also, let's talk about
100%.
yeah.
Yeah.
And so let's talk about surrender. So it's often romanticized but rarely easy. So what does surrender really look like in practice?
Often romanticized, very rarely easy. I love that. That's so true. Because what is surrender, right?
Thank you.
Is I think there's a misconception of surrender, that surrender means, oh, I'm not doing anything. I'm lazy. I'm just letting go with the flow. But it's so much more than that. It's an act of bravery, right? It is such a brave thing to be faced with chaos, to be faced with conflict, to be faced with the unknown, to be faced with like fear, and to surrender to it. That is such an act of bravery. And so that misconception that it's a sort of weakness to surrender is the
Yeah.
total opposite. It takes a very strong, brave person to
Mm,
let go and allow source to help, to let go and allow the higher self to come in, to let go, to surrender, and to see your obstacles as teachers, right? To see your
yeah.
pain as purpose. You need to surrender to be able to create the space,
Mm,
right? So in spiritual practice, not only do we need to take action and need to have will, but we need to surrender the divine feminine, right? To create
mm,
the space. So how do you do that in your daily life? By really looking at control,
okay.
right? What am I trying to control? What can't I control? And
Yeah.
the places where I can't control, can I let go and allow the universe to help? Because if I'm holding on so tightly, there's no space, there's no room.
True.
So I need to let go a little to create the space to allow source to bring me, right? To bring me miracles, to bring me the people, to bring me the opportunities. I have to surrender to get there. So yeah,
Yes.
surrender so important. Yes.
I think you have explained that so beautifully. And surrender isn't a collapse. It's the expansion through the trust. And
Yes.
and also, can you share a moment where surrender cracked you open, and ultimately led to expansion?
Oh wow, so many moments, because we're constantly going through death and birth cycles, aren't we?
Mm, yeah.
So we often think of ascension or spiritual growth as this linear process, right? I'm here, then I'm here, but it's really not like that, right?
Yeah.
We're cyclical beings,
Mm,
just like the earth has cycles, Mother Nature has cycles, seasons. So I've had many seasons of breaking open, right? Lows in my career, lows in my personal life and family. in my identity of how people see me,
Yeah.
rejection, abandonment, um, fear of being seen, fear of being judged, right? And then reaching levels of success and then having failure, so all these ups and downs are all part of your evolution, are part of my evolution that helps mold and shape who I'm becoming. We're always becoming something, always. And so you're going to have, just like me, I've had so many moments of surrender, so many moments of like breaking open. But with that is always a gold nugget, right? Every failure, every rejection, every place that I've ever been where I'm like, how do I get out of here? I'm stuck. Um, there's always a golden opportunity on the other side of that. It's 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 a transformation, it's like walking through the
Mm.
fire, walking through the muck to get to,
True.
and we have to do that. We have to do that. We have to go through the shadow. So to answer your question, I've had many of those moments of facing my shadow, all the places where I'm uncomfortable, where I'm scared. And we don't always know when we're scared. Sometimes it's
Mm.
sneaky.
Yeah.
So sometimes it's just a process and it takes time. Right. So
Yes.
yeah.
Yes. Yes. And also, many people just confuse this between surrender and giving up. So, what are some signs that people can understand the differentiation between surrender and giving up?
Yeah, that's a great question, right? It's kind of nuanced. So giving up, right? What does giving
Yeah.
up mean? Sometimes we need to give up actually, right?
Mm. Yeah.
But not in the way where you're giving up and letting go of your dreams. You're surrendering, you're giving up what's no longer working,
Yeah.
right? You're
Yeah.
giving up resistance, you're surrendering the resistance, you're surrendering the pain, right?
Mm.
Giving up, that term implies that I don't care. Giving up implies that, um, I'm just not doing anything, right?
Yeah.
But surrender, an active state of surrender is actually an action.
Mm.
It is an action in itself, actively surrendering is not giving up. Giving up implies that I don't care or just not gonna try anymore. Surrendering is not the same. It's not trying. It's actually being committed to the part of your goal that needs to create space. It is an action, right? Does that make
Yeah.
sense?
Yes. Yes. I think you have said that and explained that so easily and beautifully because this is a very complex concept, but the way you said it,
Yeah.
it's so beautiful. And also, you channel divine intelligence through sound, light language, and intuitive healing. So, how do these modalities activate soul level healing?
Yeah, so that's a great question. So, sound, right, bypasses the logical mind, the left brain, right?
Yeah.
Light codes are a form of encoded sound that activate dormant DNA, right?
Okay.
So, and some of this can be complicated, so I'm trying to make it as simple as possible. But as we expand and evolve on the planet, we're becoming less carbon, less dense, and more light, more crystalline, which is who we are, more divine. So sound frequency, light codes, is sort of the catalyst, right? That turns on that crystalline DNA, that turns on
Mm.
dormant gifts, that turns on soul remembering how more than just human, I'm connected to the all. I'm connected to divine. This is who I really am. It's the code, it's the frequency that unlocks that divine remembering. And it can occur on a physical level, it can heal physical ailments. Anything really that's disconnecting you from your divine blueprint, right?
Yeah.
Sound, light codes help you return to your natural state of being, to your innocence, to the vibration of oneness. So anything within you that's not vibrating to oneness, right? Any fear, right? Any trauma, any programming and conditioning, all of that needs to be released and broken up
Yeah.
so you can return to a higher vibration, right?
Yes.
And sound is the gateway that helps us do that because it's multidimensional.
Mm.
And again, it can access your heart, right? It can access your intuitive self where a language, the words we speak are not the same. They're more linear. Sound is higher to God, higher to source, right? Pure frequency vibration. So I hope that makes sense. I know it gets a little complicated.
No, 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 no. You have explained that so beautifully, and I think for everyone. So, uh, what advice would you give to someone who is curious but skeptical about multidimensional healing tools?
Yeah. First, I would say it's okay to be skeptical, right? You have to be discerning. So when you listen to, let's say, light language, I would like you to listen from your heart, right? So when you listen to channeling, when you listen to light language, listen to your heart and let it speak to your feeling, right? The same way you would listen to music.
Yeah.
Not trying to understand, not trying to process, not trying to understand what this is or analyze it. Let it speak to the part of you that just is intuitive. And
Yeah.
if it resonates, you'll feel it. If it resonates, you'll feel it. You'll know this feels pure, right? Or if it doesn't, then you'll feel that too. Trust your feeling first, not here. Trust what you feel. Let this be your compass. And if that feels hard, then that's your practice. That's where you start. Listening from the heart, learning how to do that, right?
Yes. Yes. I think healing can sound cosmic, but when it lands in truth, it speaks every soul. So,
Yes.
also, if someone is listening today and feels lost or out of
Mm,
alignment, what is the
mm.
first invitation you would offer them to return to their soul path?
Yeah, that's a great question. So, right when we feel lost, it's actually a beautiful place to be. And I
Yeah.
know if you're listening and you're hearing that, you might think, well, that's not true. But because you're lost, that means that the next level is discovery, right?
Yeah.
So we live in a universe where there's always an answer to every question. So there's always an opposite, right? So if you're lost, guaranteed you're going to discover who you are. That's the
Yeah.
next step, right?
Yes.
And
Yeah.
sometimes don't we need to get lost so we can find ourselves, right?
Yes.
You know, so if you're lost, you're right where you need to be, right? If you're breaking apart, the next step is being put back together again. So you'll never reach your next level of being if you're not lost. You'll never reach your next level of being if you don't break apart. You're never going to
Yeah.
reach your next level of being if you don't fail. So you're right where you need to be. And it's an invitation to see it in a different way. So, not that I'm a failure, not that anything's wrong with me. No, actually, great. I'm lost. Wonderful. That means I'm ready to discover myself. Okay, I'm confused. Wonderful. That means I'm learning new things and I'm integrating them, right?
Yes.
So, it's just a very different way to look at it. Different perspective. Being lost means the next step is becoming found. You're finding yourself. So it's actually a good place to be. Being confused, that means you're ready for more. You're expanding. You're ready to learn more, discover more. So totally different way to see it.
Yes. 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 I think when someone feels lost, their soul isn't gone. It's just waiting for an invitation to rise.
Yes, yes, absolutely.
Yes, and I think you have said that so wonderfully. And how can they begin to embody their light without feeling overwhelmed by the shadows?
Mm. I think one of the ways is to understand that light and shadow are both parts of us. They're
Yeah.
both parts of us. That shadow is the gateway to the light. That's all. Shadow serves a purpose, right? So we
Yes.
don't stay in the shadow because then we forget the light. We don't stay in the light because we need the shadow, right? Just
Yeah.
like the yin and the yang, we're both.
Yes.
So if you can perhaps examine your shadow and look at it and ask yourself, what is it showing me?
Mm.
What's the teacher in that? And give it purpose. Let your pain, let your shadow give you purpose. Let it in, let it be the gateway to the light, right?
Yes.
So it's a vehicle, right? Going down under to come back up. We have to go there. So I guess the answer is maybe seeing or trying to getting in touch with your shadow and letting it speak to you and tell you what it's showing you.
Yes.
What is the
Yes.
purpose? Yes. Yeah. That was what
That,
I was. Yeah.
yes. That's so beautiful. And also, if you have to say something or give a message to my listeners, then what would you say?
Aw. So I would say that everything that you need to know is inside of you, that nothing is outside of you. The answers that you seek, the questions you have, they're all inside of you. And in fact, learning how to ask the right questions is how you receive
Yes.
the answer, right? So,
Yes.
what are the questions you need to ask? And then letting go, like we talked about, surrender to the answer. Know that everything is within you. Create the stillness and the space to receive it. Ask the right questions and create the space and allow yourself to have experiences. Allow yourself to fail. Allow yourself to make mistakes and allow the outside to be the teacher, not
Yes.
not that it doesn't dictate who you are. It's just the
Mhm.
teacher. Everything comes from in here. So stillness, right? Space, and knowing that everything comes from within you. And really, I mean, that work on that. And you'll be good.
Yes. Yes. And this is a wonderful conversation. And after this, if my listeners want to connect with you, then what's the best way?
Sure. I would love for you to come. I just launched a new podcast called Divinely Human. You can watch it on Spotify. I mean, listen on Spotify, Apple, and also watch it on YouTube. It's called Divinely Human. You can find it on there. My YouTube channel is Asha Rose Healing. You can also go to my website, www.sarah-asharose. You can download. I have a 5-day audio of channeled messages that you can download and listen to.
Yes. Yes.
And yeah, I'd love for you to check it out. Yeah.
Yes, and I will make sure to attach all the details and links below so that my listeners can find them easily and get in touch with you and can hear more from you because you're a wonderful person and what you are doing is amazing. And I think this conversation
Oh,
is
thank
so,
you.
so beautiful and so insightful. And thank you for sharing your knowledge. And also to my
Oh,
listeners, yes, thank you so much. And to my listeners, Sarah Asha Rose reminds us that healing isn't about fixing. It's about remembering. Stillness isn't emptiness, but divine fullness. And our soul's purpose isn't outside of us. It has been whispering all along. So if today stirred something in you, lean in. Surrender isn't the end of control, it's the beginning of trust.